Honorable Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood, Professor Anila Jalil, Chairperson, Biochemistry and Library Committee, respected faculty, staff, students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it gave me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you to participate in the workshop on how to get publication in impact factor journals and how to boost your publication through Google Scholar and PubMed. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood, Dean of Information Management and Media Studies, University of Punjab, Lahore. Dr. Khalid Mahmood is an ambitious, energetic, and resolute personality of library and information science in the Pakistan and overseas. He has completed his HEC-sponsored postdoc research at Department of Information Studies, Graduate School of Education and Information Studies, University of California, USA, in 2010 to 11. He is the author around 200 research papers published in national and international journals. He has contributed 7 books. He runs a YouTube channel, Information, Education and Research. We are very lucky because Professor Khalid Mahmood is always with us in every year for pre-conference workshop. I would like to invite Professor
Recording
Khalid
in
Mahmood,
progress.
please deliver a lecture on how to get publication in impact factor journal. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghulam Fareed. Good morning to all the participants. Today our topic is how to publish or how to get published in an impact factor journal. So let's start our discussion. About me, Mr. Ghulam Fareed, thank you very much. You have introduced me. So most of the things you have already shared with the participants. I'm a dean here in the Punjab University. I did my postdoc from University of California, Los Angeles. I, with the help of my team, published more than 200 publications, and most of them are articles, journal articles. I have already published more than 60 impact factor publications. I have supervised some doctoral and MPhil and master theses. I have worked for many journals as editor, reviewer, and I am still a member of editorial advisory board for many journals. And I have conducted many workshops and training sessions on the subject of writing and publishing. So, what is a research journal? So, first of all, we want to define it. A research journal is also called an academic journal and a scholarly journal as well. So, a journal or a research journal is a periodical or a serial publication that contains articles, or sometimes we call it a paper, written by experts in a particular field of study who report the results of research in that field. So in short words, researchers do their research in their labs in the field and publish the results of their research in the journal articles, in the form of journal articles, in the form of journal papers, and people read those articles by accessing the research journals through libraries or through internet or through subscription-based platforms available on the websites of the publishers. The articles published in those journals are intended to be read by other experts or students of the field. So the target audience of a research article is the experts or students of that particular field, and they are typically much more sophisticated and advanced than the articles found in general magazines. So sometimes you find articles or essays in the magazines. So the target audience of the magazines is the general public. So the language and style and other technicalities of those essays or articles are different from the research articles. So the target audience of the research articles are only experts or students of that particular field. Here I want to share something about the global market of research journals. So there is a global directory of serial publications. It is the largest in the world, Ulrich directory. So nowadays it is available on Ulrich's web. It's the portal of this directory. It is the oldest one also, started in 1932 in the print form. It has more than 300,000 serials, including research journals and newspapers and magazines and everything which is fit on the definition of the serial. It covers more than 90,000 publishers in working in more than 950 subject areas, and it has entries in more than 200 languages of the world. So this directory is the largest source of the list of journals in the world. There is another report, the STM report, which shows the global market of research journals, scholarly publications. So the latest edition of this report is available in 2021. So according to this report, there were more than 48,000 scholarly journals in the world, and more than 35,000 journals were in English language. So all these journals are publishing over 4.7 million articles per year, and the growth of the article publication is 6.5% per year. So nowadays virtually all research journals are available online. One can access those journals through internet or through the websites of the publishers. The subject division is here. The largest area which is covered by these journals is biomedical sciences, which is 30%. The smallest area is arts and humanities, which is only 5%. And the geographical distribution is here. So China is number one in the world. It produced 19% of the total articles. And the next is the USA with 18%, India with 5%, UK with 4%, Germany with 4%, Japan with 4%, and so on. Now we will talk about the journals with an impact factor. So journals included in Journal Citation Reports. So this is a publication, this is a database which holds a number of journals. So all these journals which are included in Journal Citation Reports are called impact factor journals. So what is the Journal Citation Reports? So JCR is an annual publication by a publisher which is called Clarivate Analytics. Historically, it was published by the Institute for Scientific Information, ISI, So that's why these journals are called ISI journals. And nowadays, these journals are accessible through Web of Science. Web of Science is a portal. It was maintained by ISI, and nowadays it is maintained by the Clarivate Analytics. It is not a free publication. It is with price. So in Pakistan, Higher Education Commission has the connection, and you can contact Higher Education Commission through your institution if you want to access this database. The JCR is based on two databases, Science Citation Index Expanded and Social Sciences Citation Index. So it means that impact factor journals are only available in the field of sciences and the field of social sciences only. So there is no impact factor journal in the field of arts and humanities. The subject coverage is here. There are 171 subject categories in sciences and 34 subject categories in social sciences. So JCR includes more than 12,000 journals after a stringent evaluation process. So their evaluation process is very harsh, it is very rigorous. I was looking at the criteria for inclusion of the journals in JCR, so it was very harsh. So there were many points which they look into, and they have an editorial board for this purpose. It is very difficult for a new journal to be included easily in the list of JCR. So after the introduction of JCR, we will go to the impact factor. What is impact factor? Impact factor, journal impact factor, JIF. So this is a formula originally developed by Dr. Eugene Garfield and Dr. Irving H. Sher many years ago, many years ago. So the purpose was to rank the journals, to help the librarians, to help the researchers for the selection of journals. It is a ratio which divides the journals received citations by account of its published articles. So in other words, the citations to the journals in the JCR year to items published in the previous 2 years divided by the total number of scholarly items published in the previous 2 years. So look at this figure below. It is an annual publication. JCR is an annual publication. So every year in the month of June, it is available. So in June 2021, we call 2020 a JCR year. So 2020 was the JCR year. So the publications of a journal in 2018 and 2019. So all those publications in these 2 years got citations in all the publications, all the journals covered by the JCR in 2020. So there is a specific formula to calculate the journal impact factor. So this is the formula. So for example, 2022, in coming June, there will be journal impact factor for all these 12,000 journals. So citations in 2022 to items published in 2020 and 2021. So it will be divided by number of articles and reviews published in 2020 and 2021. For example, a journal, a specific journal, journal ABC, for example, publishes 50 articles in a year and 50 articles in another year. So total for 2 years, there will be 100 articles. And in 2022, all the journals covered or included in the Web of Science or in the JCR, all the journals will cite those 100 articles. So it depends how many times they will be cited or how many citations these articles will get in 2022. So at the end of the 2022, they put the figures in this formula. So the total citations, those 100 articles got in 2022 will be divided by the total number of articles, means 100. So the result is the general impact factor. For example, the number of citations will be 200 and 200 will be divided by 100. So the general impact factor for 2022 of that journal will be 2.0. And the JCR edition, which will be published in 2023, in June 23, will have all this information. So this is the formula for calculation of general impact factor. So look at the JCR interface. So if we have a connection or have the subscription of JCR, so you will be logged into this platform. So you will find the different filters. So the filters on the left side, the subject category, JCR year, and the select edition means the science citation index expanded or social sciences. And on the right side, you will find the list of journals automatically arranged by the general impact factor in descending order. And you will find also many other variables or many other indicators for the journals. So if you open a specific journal's website, so you will find an interface like this. So on the top you will find journal's name, and then the ISSN of that journal, then the publisher's name, the country name, and on the right side you will find the abbreviation of the journal and the category of the subject category in which this journal is indexed, and the language of the journal, and how many issues are there per year. And in the bottom of the page you will find the indicators of that journals. So you will find the year-wise impact factor and 5-year impact factor and other items like cited half-life and citing half-life and eigenfactor score and many other indicators for that journal. And all these indicators are based on the calculation from the citations. So citations divided by the number of articles. So in this way you can see the general impact factor. General impact factor is here. So in 2014, the impact factor for this journal was 3.383. So the 3 points after decimal are available normally. So in this way you can see many indicators regarding a particular journal. Now we'll go to the publishing process, and for the purpose of publishing you should have a valid reason, a justifiable reason to publish. So I have collected some reason here. Why do you want to publish an article in any journal, and specifically in an impact factor journal? So sometimes you have a research grant and they demand from you that you must publish the results of your research. Sometimes you want a job or a promotion. So in our case, in Pakistani scenario also, we need research publications, and in sciences specifically and in technology, in medical sciences, we need to publish in the impact factor journals for the purpose of appointment and promotion as professor in the universities. You want to disseminate your work or research findings to a particular audience. You want your research to have political, social, or scientific or health related implications for change. You want to contribute to intellectual discussion or scientific debate. You want to generate new knowledge. and share that knowledge with your audience or with your colleagues, or you are passionate about your subject area and you are compelled to write something for other people. So whenever you have a valid reason, you should think about the publishing of your articles or your papers. So how to select a suitable journal? So here are some points. When you write an article or you have finished the writing, you should see your reference list. So reference list of your article is the main source of the relevance of the journals. For example, you have cited 20 or 15 or 25 articles in your paper. So look at the journals in which those 15 or 20 articles were published. So to identify or to determine the subject area of your article, it will be helpful to see the list of your reference, and you can easily find a suitable journal in the reference list. So you can ask your colleagues and specifically you can ask your seniors for advice. So if your seniors or your colleague have already experienced the publications, so they can guide you. So think about who will want to read your paper. So always look for a target audience for your paper. So it is for whom? Read papers from shortlisted journals. You can shortlist some impact factor journals and go to their websites and see the list. So in this case, you will find the relevant journal for your article very easily. You should see the sample papers also. Put your short list of journals in rank order from the best choice or highest choice to last choice. So in this case, you will find a priority list of journals for your use. So first of all, you can send your paper to a journal with good impact factor, and in case you are rejected, then you can try for another journal and then another journal. So you can make a priority list for your publication, and at the last you can share your priority list, or you can share your list of suitable journals with your co-authors, so they can help you in identifying the most suitable journal in which you first try to publish your article. There is a criteria for journal selection. So I have collected some points here. So the first of all is the subject scope. Go to the website of the journal for which you are thinking about for publication. So look at the website and read the subject scope or the coverage area. So normally there is a list of the subjects there on the website. So you can match the subject area of your article with the list available on the journal's website. Another point is the refereeing system. Normally all the journals are refereed, and the refereeing system is blind peer review. The blind peer review means the author does not know who is reviewing his or her paper, and the reviewer does not know he or she is reviewing a paper blindly. So all the journals indexed in JCR are blind refereeing system. Look at the impact factor also. So if a journal has good impact factor, so it means that it is a good quality journal in the world. So you can select on the basis of the impact factor, which is higher or lower or middle level. You can also see the circulation of the journal. Circulation means how many subscribers are of that particular journal. And time lag. Time lag means how much time they take from the submission of the article to the final publication of the article. Some journals have a long queue before them, and they take more time, and particularly in health sciences, sometimes you don't have more time. So look at the time lag, and this time lag is available also on the time information is available on the website of the journal also. You may see the reputation of editors, who are the editors of the journal. So some journals are of professional nature. Those are published by professional organizations or professional associations, and on the other side, some journals are commercial, which are published by commercial publishers. So you can also see that some publishers are well known, and the others are less known. And similarly, some professional organizations have very good repute in that field or that subject area. You should also consider the quality of production of that journal. So some journals are good in quality of production, and the others are not. And at the end, and it is the most important point for countries like us, for poor countries or developing countries, it is the article publishing charges. So nowadays, many journals are open access and they are charging fee from the authors. So in some cases, the fee is very high and it is not affordable for the author or the author's team. So look at this matter also to finalize your journal. There are some frequent errors in selecting a journal. I have taken this list from an article. So the authors gathers the point, overestimating the actual scientific contribution to the study. So sometime we did a research and we overestimate our contribution. In this case, the article is rejected from a good journal. Sometimes we overestimate the originality of the research, so we just repeat the research and there is nothing new or there is no innovation in our article. So in this case, it is again rejected from a good journal. So considering the impact factor as the sole criterion for selection, impact factor is one of the criteria, but it is not the sole criteria. Sometimes we cannot find a good impact factor journal. So in this case, we should send our article to any other journals. So there is a large list of journals. Choosing a journal, a general journal, when the subject of the article is specialized. So try to publish your articles in the specialized subject journals only. Failing to consider the field of interest of the journal's readership. So in the previous slide, I was sharing with you that first you should see the website of the journal and see the scope of that journal. So if your article is mismatched with the scope, so it is easily rejected. Failing to consider open access journals, which are sometimes the best options. So sometimes we are ignoring that open access journals, and in this case, we are unable to get a place in a good journal. Believing that having published in the journal in the past guarantees acceptance. Yes, this is a very important point. So if we have published our articles in that particular journals, so sometimes we feel that my new article will automatically be published. No, not at all. They will send it for review, and on merit they will accept it or reject it. So sometimes we believe that knowing the editor or someone in the editorial team guarantees acceptance. So it is again a mistake we will do. So these were the frequent errors or common errors in selecting a journal. So if we do the errors, if we commit the errors, then the rejection rate will be high in our case. So now we come to the publishing process. We should build our manuscript. So we should plan for writing and budget our time. We should write the first draft, then review it, then the second draft, or in most of the cases, we should get feedback from our colleagues and especially from our seniors. And if you can work in a team, it is more suitable, more useful for you. In a team, you can distribute the work among the authors, and there are seniors and juniors in your team, and you can get a good feedback from your senior colleagues specifically. And when you have your third or the final draft ready with you, then you will go to the submission. There are a list of contents. Normally, it is a common list of research papers in good journals. So there is a title, author's name, and institutional affiliation, abstract, keywords, introduction, literature review, methods. And in the case of health sciences, we use materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, references, acknowledgements, biographical sketch sometime, and appendixes or appendices. So this is a common format, but you should follow the format given by the specific journal in which you are going to be published. Format of the paper. The format you can see in the journal's website. So there will be guidelines for authors. First of all, see the website for format. You can find differences from one journal to another in these things. Style of references, tables and figures, line spacing, font name, font size, word limit of the article, writing style. Some journals are insisting you to write in British English, or some are in American English, or some are other formats, format changes. It is essential for an author to write his or her article according to the format. Otherwise, they will reject the paper in the first review, in the editorial review, which is called a desk review. So submission process. So when you have read the guidelines for authors from the journal's website, then you should resolve the ethical issues before submission. In these ethical issues, these items are included. So you have to decide number and order of authors, how many authors, who will be the first author, who will be the last author, who will be the corresponding author. And normally there is a section for author contributions. So you will have to write about the authors who have done which section or which component of the article. So if you get funding from any agency, it should be clear, it should be mentioned. There must be acknowledgements for others if you got help from others, and if you have some conflicts of interest, so those should be declared, those should be disclosed in the article. And there may be a statement or a note on the access to data. So if someone is interested after the publication to see the data, so he or she can contact the author, or the data can be found in a repository or somewhere else. So all these issues should be resolved before submission. The process of submission is normally these days it is online. So the journals have their portals for article submission. So you have to sign up for a new submission. So you have to make an account for this purpose. And this account is normally free of cost. So first of all, you have to enter the information on authors, author names, author affiliations, author contacts, email, telephone, etc. And normally they also ask your interest areas, the subject keywords in which you are interested. So after all this information, you will be asked to upload the article. And normally article has different parts, and you have to make different files for those parts. So title page normally is separate, and main body, and then tables and figures, etc. Or in the main article file, you should not include author's name and affiliations, etc. Because the article will go for the review process. So that's why they don't want that your name will appear in the article file. So there must be a cover letter also to the editor. So humbly you can request the editor to consider your article for the publication. And once you submit or you press the submit button, you will get an automatic acknowledgement, and after some time, maybe 1-2 days or 3 days, you will get an email from the editor to confirm the submission of your article. What is happening after that? So here is a review process. So I have copied this figure from an article for you. So look at the process. Author submits article. So it is first assessed by the editor. So sometimes it is rejected, which is called desk rejection. And if it is accepted for review, then it is sent to the reviewers. So reviewers are normally they are 3 in number. So reviewers after some time send their comments to the editor. The comments are passed on to the authors, and sometimes they accept it, sometimes they reject it, sometimes they demand revisions. So the authors revise the article and then again send to the editor. So before acceptance, all this process is necessary, it is essential. So I have written all these steps here also. So after submission, first it is scanned by the editor, then editor has selected the reviewers. There will be a double-blind review. So they will take some time. Normally it is 12 weeks or at least 3 months for the purpose of review. Then the reviewers will send the comments, and the editor will communicate the decision of the reviewers to the author. So decision can be of 3 types: acceptance without any changes, rejection, or the revision. Author may submit the revised version before final decision. So criteria for judging a paper. Normally, which points a reviewer keeps in his or her mind to see a paper. So here are some points. Does the article add to what is already known? So is there any innovation in the article? Is the article demonstrably related to what has been previously written? So every author, every article has to be grounded in the available literature. Are the arguments employed valid in terms of the body of knowledge? So there must be logical flow in the articles. So there the arguments should be based on the results or should be related to the body of knowledge. So article should be easy to read. So do the arguments flow logically? Are the conclusions strong? Strong means based on the results and grounded in the available literature also. So here is a performer to be used by the evaluators or referees. So on the top is the reviewer's name and the date, and then the title of the manuscript, and there will be a scale also. So in this case, on this performer, there are 10 points regarding the articles. So different parts of the articles are covered in these 10 points, and for each point you will see a scale also. So not applicable, definitely not, no, neutral, yes, definitely yes. And in the bottom you will see that there are recommendations. So first recommendation is accept with no revisions, accept with minor revisions, accept with major revisions. And another recommendation is reject. Reject means rework and resubmit, rework and submit to another journal, or sometime the reviewer or the referee recommends another journal. And another option is article appears to be unpublishable even with major revisions. One of these 6 recommendations you can see in this performa. So normally this is one of the performas. So normally it is practice of the e-journal that which kind of information they want from the reviewers. So how to handle the reviewers' comments as an author? So you should make adjustments and attach explanation of your arguments, of your revised points. Do not feel obligated to make or recommended changes. So sometimes you can disagree with the reviewers' comments humbly, and don't take comments personally. Actually, the editor, the editorial team, and the reviewers are helping you to make your article the better, or in this way you can improve your article before publication. Or you must be polite in all your correspondence. So first of all, you should say thanks to the reviewers and thanks to the editor, and then you can revise your arguments or your data in the article. So here is the publication process. Publication, when your article is accepted, so they will ask you to pay the publication fees, if there is any fee. Then they will send you a copyright agreement form, and these days it is again online, and you can submit the form by signing it or clicking on a button for your agreement. Then they will format your article according to their format. It is called copy editing of your article. And sometimes some journals have a practice that they send the proof for reading by the author. So normally they will give you a short time, normally 24 hours or 48 hours for proofreading. You will proofread your article and then inform them it is okay, or you want to have some changes, or you have found some mistakes. So then there will be a printing process. And nowadays many journals have a practice that they put your article in the proper formatted form on their website. It is called early publication or pre-publication, and after some time they will allot or they will allocate a proper volume, issue and page numbers to your article. And when your article is available on the journal's website, the editor or the managing editorial team or the publisher's representative will inform you that your article is available, and you can download and share your article with the with your students, with your colleagues. So thank you very much. So if you have some questions, I am available with you.
Thank you very much, Professor Khalid Mahmood, for your time and always with us. Dear participants, अगर आपके पास किसी किस्म को कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आप डॉक्टर खालिद साहब से करना चाहते हैं, तो प्लीज आप क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Dr. Neela. Thank you for such an excellent presentation and excellent, the thoughts about how to publish articles in impact factor journals. It is a very important thing because as such our publications must be in a thorough book journal should be published so that our research should have impact to society. The question is nowadays many let's say unauthentic or ghost journals are there. So how to recognize them? So give us some few words if you can explain them and that how they can recognize that this is not an authentic journal. How they can identify that.
Yes, these days the with the increase in the publication industry, there are ghost journals, and those journals technically those are called predatory journals. So they are in large number in the world. So I have made a specific video on this topic, and I will share that link with the Ghulam Fareed or the other participants. So you can find a list of predatory journals on a website. So this website is made by an American librarian. So if you search on the Google that the list of predatory journals, so you will find a list, and this list is updated continuously, and you can find a title easily in that list. So there are hundreds of predatory journals, and you should avoid your publication in those journals. So that publication will be blocked by the Higher Education Commission or our bodies or PMDC or PMC. So your article will be wasted in this case, and your money will be wasted. So you should avoid those journals. So for this video, I will share the link with Ghulam Fareed. Then Ghulam Fareed, please share that link to all the participants.
Sure, sir.
Yes, please. Any other question, please?
सर मैं पूछना चाह रही थी कि sometimes बहुत ज़्यादा वो charges demand करते हैं for the publication in international journals.
जी ऐसे ही
बहुत ज़्यादा यूरोज या डॉलर्स, तो फिर उसको कैसे हम कोप कर सकते हैं? क्या हम उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करें उसको कम करें?
जी बिल्कुल ये जो जर्नल्स है ना, ये नेगोशिएट भी करते हैं आपके साथ. आप उन्हें जब बताते हैं ना कि आप डेवलपिंग कंट्री से हैं, आपके पास कोई फंडिंग नहीं थी, आपने जो रिसर्च की है, आपके पास अलग से कोई ऐसा नहीं है सोर्स कि आप पे कर सकें, तो आपको रायत भी कर देते हैं. तो आप इसमें कंसेशन उनसे सीख कर सकते हैं, और अक्सर बात वो कर देते हैं कंसेशन.
थैंक यू.
जी, तो आप में से अगर कोई और क्वेश्चन नहीं है तो मेरा ख्याल है सो वी शुड कंप्लीट अवर वर्क हियर. सो गुलाम फरीद, प्लीज आप अपना काम अगर शुरू करना चाहें.
सर पूछ रहे हैं व्हाट इज द कैटेगरीज ऑफ जर्नल लाइक डब्ल्यू कैटेगरी एंड वाई कैटेगरी.
ये असल में ना कैटेगरीज, इसको कैटेगराइज किया है जर्नल्स को हमारी हायर एजुकेशन कमीशन ने. अदरवाइज तो ये जो जितने जर्नल्स हैं, इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर की आज हम बात कर रहे थे, इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर जर्नल्स जो हैं ये ऑलमोस्ट सारे के सारे हायर एजुकेशन कमीशन की जो कैटेगरीज हैं उसमें सबसे हाईएस्ट कैटेगरी है डब्ल्यू. तो डब्ल्यू कैटेगरी में उन्होंने शामिल किया है. तो इसके अलावा भी हैं, एक्स भी हैं, वाई भी हैं, लेकिन एक्स और वाई जो हैं वो इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर नहीं है, वो फिर उसके बगैर हैं अगर आप उनमें पब्लिश करना चाहें तो. साइंसेस में तो हमारे यहाँ जो है वो, और टेक्नोलॉजी में हमारे यहाँ डब्ल्यू से कम एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया जाता आर्टिकल, फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ प्रमोशन, फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट. तो इस तरह से कैटेगरी